We are immersed in a digital environment which significantly influences our behavior. In the current digital developments, we must think critically and recognize that technology is not neutral. It depends entirely on content. The programs program us, the new technologies alter and transform our cognitive processes. In the age of digital information, it is impossible to block its dissemination, especially on topics that were kept out of popular knowledge. And with the impossibility to continue containing these flows of information, WikiLeaks, Panama Papers, etc., the new mechanisms of power and control are resorting to alternative techniques, disinformation, filter bubbles, echo chambers, fake news among others. These tools somehow exchange the old ignorance to which much of society was subjected for new, and perhaps more effective resources, confusion and lack of critical thinking. We now have much more information in our grasp than ever before, which transforms the way we process it. Technology is very useful, but we can also get lost in it. For DJ Boomerston, the fog of information can weaken knowledge. How is it possible that in the age of digital information and its great dissemination on the internet, it would end up paradoxically becoming one of the most effective tools for developing ignorance and lack of critical thinking? How can we overcome these new control techniques? It is important to consider three concepts: reflection, interpretation and discernment, in other words, critical thinking. The key is the neurocognitive development to assimilate, interpret, discern and synthesize the great amount of information we receive. We must reflect on the implications that these new tools of communication are having on us and how this transforms our behavior. For Douglas Rushkoff, we must take the reins of this explosive evolution of practices and thoughts. This digital recognition is to try to raise awareness of the new possibilities and consequences implied by the new technological tools of communication and not leave this task, once again, to an elite that, unlike the majority of the population, has enough clarity in the management of these digital tools for large-scale psychosocial programming. The one who controls, through understanding, the practices that the current programs promote, will undoubtedly be safe from being programmed. The world is accelerating. With advances in communication, transportation and information processing technologies, it is clear that the pace of events in global politics is speeding up. Will acceleration lead to a more interconnected, productive, peaceful, and humane world, or a nightmarish descent into ecological devastation, economic exploitation and increasingly violent warfare? This acceleration has led to greater inequality. For some people, hyperconsumption is part of their life, while for others it is precariousness and lack. In 2018, about 821 million people in the world suffered from malnutrition, or in other words, 1 in every 10 human beings. In fact, hunger and malnutrition are the main health risk in the world, while 1/3 of all food produced worldwide is lost or wasted. The world is accelerating. In this durable capitalism, people move faster and faster, but still feel stuck in the same place. Today, we wear twice as many clothes as 15 years ago, and we keep them half as long. We have built a society in which there is confusion about how to achieve well-being. So how do we stop this spiral? By consuming or using what we already have for as long as possible. It is not more sustainable to get rid of everything and opt for new ecological products, but to extend their life. We have forgotten to reuse and also to repair. With planned obsolescence, a use and throw-away society has been established. With advances in communication, transportation and information processing technologies, it is clear that the pace of events in global politics is speeding up. Excessive consumption has led to the massive exploitation of certain raw materials. Coltan is one of the main components of smartphones. It is extracted mainly in some African countries such as the Democratic Republic of Congo, Rwanda, and Ethiopia, which is then transported to contemporary slave factories, where their workers, mostly women, produce the new devices. These products end up in our shopping malls and, due to programmed obsolescence and/or consumer society marketing, we soon discard them. With this behavior, we restart the cycle of hyperconsumption. The superconductivity and its resistance to corrosion and heat make it a key mineral for the military and armament industry. The control of this type of strategic raw materials has caused many wars and millions of victims. This benefits the weapon industry. At the end of 2017 there were approximately 857 million firearms, and in 2018 it left profits of $420.00 million. 500 people die every day from firearms. 15 billion bullets are produced each year worldwide. 1 in 10 people in the world suffer from malnutrition, and there are bullets to kill twice as many people on the planet.